Live from Fargo and serving you on TV, online, and on the go. This is Valley News Live at 10.
We are in the final hours of 2019. Many people are heading out on the town to usher in 2020 with a bang. To do this safely, many of you are relying on a ride to get you to and from your destination. As the celebrations kick off, Valley News Team's Katie Opperly has what you need to know about rides this evening. And she's live for us in downtown Fargo. Katie?
Andrea, I'm in downtown Fargo where people are pouring in. As they do, it's important to think about how all these people are getting to and from the area. Whether it's because you need a sober ride or because you just can't find a parking spot, I took a look at what ride service is the best option. Uber, Lyft, cab service, Sober Kitty, the list goes on for ride services in the FM area. Drivers will be swamped with calls as people are looking to head out and kick off the new year with some fun.
New Year's Eve is one of the busiest days of the year here for us. It's very close to Christmas as well, so we're just super busy. Because of that, we typically have about 60 to 80 cabs out on the streets here to accommodate our demand.
As you are calling for a ride, it's important to know how these services stand up on this busy holiday. Looking at prices for Uber and Lyft this afternoon to go from 45th Street South in Fargo to downtown, or roughly 7 miles. They both estimated the ride to cost between $15 to $18. We asked area Uber drivers, and they said that $15 to $20 ride could end up costing you upwards of $100 later in the night if they get too busy and prices begin to surge. If you're looking at the price, Uber and Lyft might not be your top choices. Cabs, on the other hand, have a rate that does not change even on New Year's, staying around $20 for the same trip. Looking at wait times, Uber and Lyft tend to have a quicker response time. Doyle's asks you to give them some time to get to you.
Since we know it's going to be super busy, we're just urging our customers to call 20 minutes prior to when they think they need their cab there, just to make sure that they'll get a cab.
No matter what ride service you choose, all agree the most important thing is to have a safe and sober ride. Again, the top priority is your safety. Authorities say it's always better to call a ride than get behind the wheel and risk your life. Reporting in downtown Fargo, Katie Opperly, Valley News Live. Happy New Year.
All right, thank you, Katie, for that live report. After we ran a whistleblower story, people living in one area of Fargo are finally getting their snow cleared. Most living at Countryside Estates expressed anger with their management for not plowing. The property was bought a few months ago by Haven Park Capital Partners. Residents say they never had issues with snow removal before Haven Park took over. But now even a FedEx truck got stuck trying to deliver a package to one of the mobile homes.
They're charging us $75 if we're a day late on rent, and yet, look at this, we can't even get out. The snowstorm came through, they knew it was coming.
Just don't understand why they can't clean it up.
A spokesman for Haven Park Capital says plowing the snow at Countryside is an issue, and they've been working to address it. The Bemidji Police Department is asking for help finding 35-year-old Matthew Asa. He was last seen on December 24th at the Northland Apartments in Bemidji. He's 5'7", 195 pounds, blue eyes and brown hair, but currently shaves his head. He was last seen wearing a camo army jacket and possibly sweatpants. If you have any information about him, call police. You might think government property gets more wear and tear in urban areas, but when it comes to road signs, it's just the opposite. According to state agencies in North Dakota, sign vandalism has always been a problem in rural areas. But now a partnership with the Game and Fish Department is helping curb some of the destruction. The Sign Warrior program started after a Williams County Road Department employee showed others a road sign with more than 400 rounds shot through it.
It's truly vandalism. It's not a form of hunting, even though hunters often get wrongly coined and blamed for the damage that's done to signs with shooting.
Up to 50% of signs in certain counties have to be replaced annually. This year, in hunter education classes, Game and Fish is aggressively incorporating how it's not okay to shoot out road signs. They tell terrifying tales from the front lines of the battle against addiction. But how real is the threat they face? There are dozens of reports of first responders requiring overdose reversal drugs after coming in contact with or being around opiates. Washington correspondent Kyle Madura spoke with an officer who believes quick thinking saved her life, and also a world-renowned expert who isn't convinced that's the case.
every time the radio crackles, Detective Lisa Falver holds her breath. About a year and a half ago, she says the last call of the day almost turned into the last day of her life.
Every time I hear an overdose call on the radio, it gets me.
Responding to this Toledo home to revive an overdosing drug user, Falver began to feel odd symptoms herself. She radioed her brand new partner for help as she grabbed a spare opiate reversal drug and inhaled.
I just knew that if I did not do that to myself, I would not be here.
At one point, her eyes did roll in the back of her head.
Seizing, a lot of seizing, convulsions, not being able to breathe, thinking that my husband might not have his wife, my children might not have their mom.
And then we were tapping on her forehead, saying, Lisa, Lisa, you're going home, stay with us.
Falver is not the only officer with an experience like this, though few ever share their story publicly. But leading medical experts say these stories don't line up with science, and there's no evidence they're even medically possible.
You can't get sick from fentanyl just by being in the room with it, just by having it touch your skin.
Dr. Andrew Stolbach spends his days in Johns Hopkins Medical Center's ER. The well-respected overdose researcher reviewed almost every report of first responders falling ill after touching or being around opiates. He has yet to see one confirmed by a drug test. He and fellow toxicologists say the described symptoms are inconsistent with overdose.
We're not saying these people are fakers, and we're not saying they're crazy.
But he says legitimate fear of these drugs can create powerful physical responses.
People have experienced real symptoms. It's just my belief and belief of other medical toxicologists based on science that the symptoms they are experiencing are not from opioids.
Many officers exposed to opiates are never tested after a scare like Falver's. She says her hospital drug test came back clean, but has no doubt that she nearly died of an overdose that day.
I am actually convinced.
Researchers hope law enforcement will begin collecting and sharing more data so they can get a better idea of what exactly is going on. In Washington, I'm Kyle Madura.
Specialized drug investigators are more likely to be sent to overdose scenes in Toledo following Falver's scare. Meanwhile, in the small village of Newtown outside Cincinnati, the police chief says he wants to make sure his officers don't slow their response time by taking unnecessary precautions. Given the threat of exposure isn't as high as previously believed, he says rather than getting into full hazmat gear, more basic steps will adequately protect his officers.
We have to be careful. We have to weigh the caution along with doing our jobs too. If we take these precautions, wearing the gloves, wearing a face mask if you want, wearing the eye protection, changing those gloves, you reduce the risk significantly.
And he says every second saved while gearing up could be the precious time needed to save the life of an overdosing drug user. The roughly 2,000 kids enrolled in North Dakota's Children's Health Insurance Program are about to transition to traditional Medicaid coverage. Starting tomorrow, they'll have access to additional benefits, including yearly screenings and well-child checkups, plus no more co-payments on covered services and no service limits on physical, speech, and occupational therapy, or dollar limits on Medicaid-covered dental services.
Valley News Live 10 at 10 continues with No Wait Weather.
All right, New Year's Eve, and things are fairly quiet today. We did see some sunshine, and that felt very nice to close out the year. Temperatures, though, well, we dipped pretty early as we headed into the evening hours, but temperatures are actually climbing. When we talked last at the 6 o'clock hour, it was 10 degrees, now 11. 4 below is what it feels like on exposed skin, thanks to that 13-mile-per-hour wind from that southerly direction. A couple things starting to warm us up. Now, the moon's right here. A few clouds starting to filter in overhead as we take a look at temperatures around the region. To the west, where the clouds are, those clouds radiate heat back down to the ground, keeping things from getting too cool. 18 Gwinner, 20 Jamestown. Right now, Grand Forks, for your New Year's Eve celebrations, 9 whole degrees, and that's a popular number down here from Breckenridge all the way out to Fergus Falls. Badette right now, a chilly 5, and that's because we have mostly clear skies. A few clouds trying to work their way in here. Looking behind Hutch, though, out towards the western Dakotas, a little unsettled weather in this direction, heading our way for New Year's Day. So, New Year's Eve, things fairly quiet this evening. Temperatures near 10 degrees as we ring in the new year, but by morning we'll have increasing clouds and temperatures for our eastern North Dakota counties. We're talking 20s to near 30 degrees to start your day. And look at this mess. New Year's Day starts off with a mixed bag of precipitation. We'll have some sleet, we'll have some freezing drizzle, and we'll have some snow along and north of Highway 200. That's how we begin the day. Out to the east, temperatures will warm there as well from the single digits to the teens, and that's how you start 2020. Now, as we go through the midday hour, that snow will move off to the east. I think we'll see some light accumulations in our northern counties. Again, along and north of Highway 200, we could see an inch or so of snowfall for the day. Not a ton compared to what we just saw, but certainly it will keep things slippery. From the midday hour on, there's going to be low clouds, there's going to be mist, there's going to be that drizzle and freezing drizzle out there with temperatures that will slip back into the 20s by the time we get to the evening. All in all, it's going to be a gray, soupy start to the new year as we see temperatures in the morning near 20 in the Fargo-Moorhead area, warming up into those low to mid 30s for the afternoon. South winds 5 to 15 miles per hour. Again, we can't rule out some periods of light precipitation. The best chance of that will be in the midday hour here in Fargo. Then it moves off to the east and north as we head into the day. So by afternoon, here's a look at your hometown planner. We'll see those clouds and shower chances moving off into northwest Minnesota. The warm air will punch its way into southeast North Dakota. So all of our North Dakota counties have a great shot at those 30-degree readings. And we might see a few 30s as well in Lakes Country. Up to the north, we'll be in the upper 20s for a mild day. Kids, you missed out on a snow day from school with all of our snow hitting on the holiday break, but certainly you can get out and play and have a little bit of fun. Brandy captured this to show the size of those 6-foot drifts out there. They were tall ones, and there were even taller ones than that. 34 on Thursday, still fairly nice. Lows not too bad. Friday and Saturday, we cool off, but just a pinch. We'll be near 20 both days. And Alberta Clipper moves through. That's what cools us off. As we head into Sunday, we're looking at the same business, although temperatures will be a little warmer, 30 degrees. After that, not warm at all. We're talking about temperatures, Andrea, that will have you shaking your thighs because we're going to talk about sub-zero air from Tuesday into Wednesday.
I'm shaking everything else too because, yeah, that zero does not
frigid.
Look good.
Yeah, no.
Maybe we can work on that, in the days
We got to melt a
come.
little snow first.
All right, thanks, Hutch.
Yep.
Okay, we've got breaking news for you now. The Minnesota State Patrol is currently on scene and investigating a 2-vehicle fatal crash on Highway 9 between Barnesville and Breckenridge. One person is dead, and there are also unknown multiple injuries. It's not known how many people are involved, but stick with Valley News Live as we work on this story. A threat from President Trump after protesters attacked the U.S. Embassy in Baghdad. We'll have the latest on that next.
You're watching Valley News Live.